In this video, we're going to look at 3 ingredients that we need to create an environment where we can learn from feedback. We're also going to look at a few things that can get in the way of us really receiving and finding feedback helpful, useful, creative. So these 3 ingredients we're going to look at are culture, mindset, and process. In Black Box Thinking, Matthew Syed takes this idea that the aviation industry has been able to radically transform its sort of safety and its behaviours. So the safety of the aircraft and the behaviours of the pilots and the crew by installing what they call black boxes, even though they're not actually black, that record all the information, all the data of what's gone on in the instruments of the plane and in the dialogue between the people in the cockpit and what people have done, what buttons people have pressed, what's happened during the flight. So that in the event of a tragic accident, they're able to get the data to find out what went wrong and learn from that situation to drive improvements and so that it won't happen again. So in order to turn the lights on and to create an environment where we can learn from feedback, firstly we need to create a culture based on openness and honesty rather than defensiveness and back covering. And that comes from unconditional positive regard, and it comes from wanting to assume the best in individual intent and to lean in and learn from failures to try and find out what's gone on. The second thing we need to turn the lights on so that we can learn from failure is growth mindset. Remember, if we're in fixed mindset, we're going to fear failure because it proves permanently that we are no good. Whereas if we're in a growth mindset, then what failure does is just tell us where we are now and actually is informative and is helpful because we believe that we can grow and develop and improve. And then the third thing that we need to create some sort of framework that drives personal and organisational adaptation. What sort of system raises awareness about goals and reality? Coaching. Coaching is a perfect tool to use. Coaching moves from push to pull. It's not about us trying to get them to change, it's about them asking for partnership to help them change. Stone and Heen say, pushing harder rarely opens the door to genuine learning. The focus should not be on teaching feedback givers to give, the focus should be on feedback receivers, helping us all to become more skillful learners. The real leverage is creating pull. How to position our coachees so that they're asking for feedback and wanting feedback rather than resisting feedback when it's offered. The first thing is clarify the purpose. What kind of feedback are you after? It'd be natural for all of us to want and need feedback of 3 different kinds. The first one is appreciation. Do you see me? Are you noticing? Is my contribution being valued? The next kind of feedback that we want is coaching, to get information to help us improve. The third type of feedback is evaluation. We want to know, where do we stand? How am I doing? How is this going from your point of view? The next thing is what can get in the way of feedback. The first one can be resistance to the message. The second thing that can get in the way is resistance to the messenger. And then the third thing is around identity and self-concept. Sometimes we're too attached to an idea of who we are or how we think the world works to be able to engage with feedback. The next hint and tip is seeing the wider system, to think through these 3 steps. Is this feedback to do with the unique combination of the coachee and the individual in question? There's a unique combination that's creating a challenge or an opportunity. The second is to zoom out and think about roles and positions within the system. And then lastly, how might aspects of even the wider system and structures and processes be showing up in the situation? And to end, can you think of a time when you felt receptive and grateful for feedback? What made it a positive experience? And conversely, can you think of a time when you felt resistant or annoyed by feedback? What made it a negative experience?